Hello, family. Welcome to Save the Singles platform. My name remains Prophetess Happiness Michael Ebube, your role model. If you can understand me very well all this while, my passion and purpose is to help you cross and get into a happy marriage life. Now, today again, I'm here to teach you something very important. And the topic of today's program is titled Take Off Flights. I know you'll be wondering, what is it all about? But for every one of you, you know when you board a plane, as a plane is taking off, you heard an announcement, some information. The head hostess will tell you that you need to fasten up your seatbelt. You need to take care of yourself before you take care of the baby. The turbulence is going to be a little bit much and all that. And when it gets to a particular point, you heard the pilot saying again, you can go out, you can go and ease yourself for the seatbelt sign is being taken off. Now, at this point, when the seatbelt sign is being taken off, you can move around, you can read, you can work on your phone, being it on flight mode and all over. Now, what is the reason of that information? When they're going to say, fasten up your seatbelt, then sit properly, don't move, is because of there's going to be a wave. When a flight is taking off from the ground, there's going to be a little bit wave, a turbulence. The flight is trying to catch up its balance. Now, as a single person, I want to give you an expo. Whenever you get married, from the day you say, yes, I do, and you guys begin to stay together, that moment is a period of turbulence. Because at this time, you need to be able to fit in together. You are trying to understand your spouse and all that. So it is going to be tough, there's going to be storm. And why I'm saying this is because in that storm, that's where a lot of people said my marriage lasted for 3 months. My marriage lasted for 6 months. That period is a period that a lot of people had a broken home. Some of this turbulence can last you for 5 years. Some can last you for 1 year. It depends on how you quickly, how the weathers clear easily. Some weathers, the turbulence could be very, very thick. You know, when it is raining, and the plane take off in that raining time, when the turbulence, when the weather is bad, turbulence can be very heavy that you have to shout the blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus may even finish. You start shouting the water of Jesus. At the end of the day, maybe that one will just finish. You now start shouting the pierce of Jesus, as in where they pierced him. So it depends on how turbulence your marriage will come after you say, yes, I do. Some people started that night, that very night. You're going to hear some people say, oh, you didn't take care of my family. It was only your family you faced. Oh, you didn't allow me do this. You didn't allow me. Oh, the clothes you sew for me, you did this, you did that. Some started at that night, that after the wedding, you discover one person will sleep in the bed, the second person will sleep in the toilet. Some began at that night. So I want you to understand that this point in time is a point of understanding. A lot of people went into honeymoon. I was almost a victim. That's why I'm saying this. At this period, this season, throughout this 1 week is my wedding anniversary week. So I'm going to be telling you some of the experience I got in my marriage. When we got married, we experienced take-off flight. Remember, I have been a counselor for the past 8 years as a single person before getting married. But waking up to reality is different from teaching. Reality is different from you just stand at the pulpit, you tell everybody, oh, love your wife, love your husband, and all that. This time was a counselor, do it, let us see it. So, my take-off flight was turbulence. It was heavy because to whom much is given, much is expected. And as you all know, my husband wasn't a pastor. He wasn't a prophet. He was somebody we met from a filling station. And God said he's the one. So there was a lot of turbulence to fit in from a filling station person to the church prophetess. It wasn't easy. Now, this turbulence may be like this other person comes in, like my husband comes in, he doesn't sleep with light. And I sleep with light. So the first night was like, he went to off light. I said, which kind of a person is this? How can you be offing light? Your light is closed and the house too is dark. Are we going to see Jesus? We are not going to see Jesus when Jesus arrives. Oh, I bring ministry into the matter. Then he said, no, he doesn't like light. I said, this is a serious matter. Then I didn't know what to do. He on, I off. No, he off, I on. He off, I on. Then at the end of the day, I remember there's going to be submissive. I leave it to him. I have to learn how to sleep without light. Now, my husband can even sleep inside freezer, and I can't sleep in a cold place. You see that now? Then my husband has to on AC. At the end of the day, I now told him, my system does not like AC. I don't like cold. My body is hot, but me self, I don't like a cold place. So my husband has to give up AC for me. I gave up light for him. We have to look who will this issue affected and who will the issue not affected. Now we are trying to fit in. Everybody is trying to have a balance. So the turbulence is going to be much. Either with McLean, you used to press from the center, you're supposed to press from the bottom. Everybody will bring his own idea. At this point in time, please learn how to fasten up your seatbelt. Because if you do not fasten up your seatbelt and sit tight, the plane will either crash or arrive to its destination. So, one of the experience I had in my takeoff flight was titled No Buying. Then, at the time after my marriage, we had to travel. Then my husband called me. He said, prophetess, I said yes. He said, damsel, I said yes. He said, as we are going to this trip now, no buying. I said, yeah, no buying, fa. Is there any word like that for a woman? As in somebody could look a woman and tell a woman, don't buy. So I said, okay, no buying. I understood it differently because I thought that, okay, he said no buying simply means he's not going to give me his money. So guess what I did? I put on my tights. I arranged my dollars inside my tight. I put my tight on. We move. We're to go to 4 countries. You understand? Because my husband took about 3 months to do my wedding. So he was like, he's going to spoil me in a honeymoon. My dear, I can't title that thing honeymoon. I think I should title it experience mood. It wasn't no longer honeymoon because there was no only talk of the moon. We don't see anyone. Then we had to travel to 4 countries. As he was leaving, he said, my dear, I have told you, I hope you heard me very well, no buying. I said, yes, I heard you very well. The first country we went, 1 day, 2 days we spent before my husband came back. Everywhere was filled up with bags and bags and bags of buying. And he said to me, but I told you no buying. I said, I heard, but I didn't buy it with your money. I said, no buying is no buying, either my money, your mother's money, my father's money. It calls no buying. I say, to a woman, no buying. And you know one thing? The friends that came to the wedding, actually, they have already predicted me. So when he was telling the friend, he said he's traveling to Dubai and others country, the friend said, with your wife? He said, yes. He said, we don't need to tell you to greet Dubai for us because your wife that I know will buy Dubai and bring for us. And that was who I am. I can buy for the whole of Nigeria as long as I get to a place. When I get to a place, I think of my security, I think of my girl, this, that. I will buy for everybody, I will buy for everybody. In fact, sometimes my name is not even on that list. Everybody I remember, I will buy for. So, first day, the hotel was already filled up. My husband came back and said, what is all this? I said, I went for shopping. He said, but I said no buying. I said, but I didn't buy with your money. One question you're going to ask me is, Mama, did you stop buying? I'm going to answer you before you ask me. I did not stop. Because I didn't even understand that they used to tell a woman, don't buy in. The following day, I bought. Now, remember, we still have 3 countries out of 4. This is just 1 country. Oh. Hey. Then, after that, my husband was like, he has to change the ticket so that we can move on time. We went for another country. We now went to Dubai. Now, Dubai was where I have already gotten some customers years back. So I've already arranged some of my nylon bag so that I won't miss the contacts. I've arranged everything. Phone numbers. I've already started calling them. Your customer is coming. Keep good things for me. Remember, the first hotel is already filled up. We got to Dubai. First day, I just rested. Hit the market. Tell my customers, your customers is here. Then I start buying. I buy the first day, I buy the second day, the third day. My husband stayed like this. He has never, for his mind is that, so even prophetess know the hear word as a wife. Then my husband, he's an international boxer. And you know, boxers don't hit their wife. So I could remember when my husband came back, everywhere, including bed, was filled up. My husband boil. But because he doesn't want to lay hands on me, he just give the war, the blood that he was supposed to give me. Guess what I did? I'm going to tell you all the truth. I went inside the duvet. I covered myself from up till toe. So he would not even see me. I would not even hear what is going on. So I just stayed there calmly. I didn't even say anything. I just stayed there. I maintained. I just behaved. Guess what? I even had another appointment of what I need to buy the next day. Hi. So the next day again, I could remember when I came to the hotel. Even me at this point, I was feeling guilty. I don't know what to do. I came back to the hotel, go up to the hotel, I couldn't go. Return back to the market, I didn't return back. My hand was full again with 2 bags. Because this is where I am for the years. So to change me or to cut it down was a take-off flight. And when I got to the place and I told the reception, please, is my husband in? Can you imagine this kind of reception? Oh. The girl said, no, your husband has gone. And I said, thank God, Holy Mary. So I now carried the bag, batty. We're at the 7th floor. I entered the lift. The lift passed 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, 5th floor. Lift will always open to any floor. And guess what? He reached there, he opened. Guess who comes in? It was my husband. Hi. If there was a 3rd person, I would have just left that but pretended I didn't know what was going on. So my husband looked at me, look at everywhere, and the lift is being filled up. My husband didn't say anything. My husband was mad at himself, like, seriously? So I took the load. My husband went inside the room. I took the load. I was just hanging myself at the door. I couldn't go inside. I couldn't return. I dropped the bag there. I think I spent up to 1 hour. Finally, I encouraged myself in the Lord according to David. And I went in. Then I dropped the bag. I could remember my husband said, now I understand the kind of person you are. I'm going to call off this marriage. Let me call your father. I knelt down quickly in my heart. I said, Lord, let daddy not pick these calls. He then said, luckily God hear all those kind of prayer. He called and daddy did not pick up calls. Now remember that discouragement is already coming in because of the toxic. Getting to know that your wife is a buying person. He can buy for the whole of Nigeria. Wasn't easy for him to take that in. For us to be able to manage that atmosphere was not easy. Then I got to know that my husband needs to go out every evening. It wasn't easy for me. Where do you go to? I need to go and see friends. What is this? So that period of trying to understand each other is where a lot of people, marriage lasted for a few months. Now, I want to tell you that it came to the point that my husband tried to return back. He wanted to change our ticket so that we can come back. Honeymoon is finished. We did not enjoy any honeymoon. The experience we got there was not funny. My husband could not enjoy any honeymoon. Now, at the point in time, we still have 2 other countries to go. At this time, I have bought something that my husband has to pay for excess luggages of 350,000. So when we pack those whole thing, he has already weighed some more. So we need to still carry some. We get to the airport. The time I began to understand his pain is when he was pushing the thing. So takeoff flight can be the turbulence can be very, very much. Like if you are not careful, you would think that you're going to crash landed. And if you are not careful, you crash land, you now heard that, they had a broken home. Crash landed simply means a broken home. But if you can manage as a pilot and as a passenger and get to your destination, you get to the point where you guys began to understand each other. Then the flight is now stable. You now heard the pilot said you are free to move around because there is balancing. So I'm talking about alignment right now. Alignment and wheel balancing. So now we're leaving Dubai, about to go to Kenya. So we got to the airport. When I understood what my husband was saying is when he began to push. Load was too much. My husband was struggling with the push, with the load. He was hanging one back this side, he was pushing. That's when I understand. Then when my husband get to the airport, my husband now asked me a question. He said, who pushed? He said, who buy this thing? I said, na me. He said, who carried the load? I said, na you. He said, who pushed the trolley? I said, na you. He said, who is going to pay for the excess luggages? I said, na you. He said, who is going to pass through the stress? I said, na you. He said, then who is walking empty-handed? I said, me. Then he said, who is walking barefooted? Because at this time, I was even confused more than the load. So I was looking at that and barefooted. He said, so who is walking without slippers? I said, na me. That's when he now dawned on me that what he actually said was true. So I watched my husband paying 300 and something thousand for excess luggages of what I bought. Buy for security, buy for gardener, buy for protocol, buy for this. So that's when I understand my husband was sick. I was sick, cold, everything, the stress. So we're shaking, all of us were shaking. We returned back home. Now, this period lasted us for more than a year. This take-off flight, me as a prophet. So what I'm trying to say is this take-off flight can make you ask God another question. Like you can go back to God and say, please excuse me, God, do you really say that this person is my wife? It can make you tell God that I don't understand anymore. It can make you go back and say, do you really mean that this person is my husband? Because I heard you well, oh God. But what I am saying does not look like a choice you make for me. And that was what Adam did. When the takeoff flight was much on Adam, Adam tell God, he said, the woman you gave to me. Because the takeoff flight can be very turbulent. If you are not careful, you will not know that there's going to be a balancing. So if you're single listening to me right now, when you get into that marriage, when you are in the takeoff flight moment, never think that God didn't say something. Never think that you didn't make a right choice. All what I want you to do, know that it happens like that. Either you're a prophet, a bishop, a businessman, an ordinary person, you will experience takeoff flight. When the plane is moving, you will experience it. But never feel discouraged. What you need to do at that moment is an agreement to work it out. You have to come into agreement to work it out. At this period of time, we are both regretted. Me have regretted why I choose him. Him too, he has regretted why he chose me. But we began to work things out. We worked things out. And as before my husband came, I was already an independent person. I could remember that if the bulb got spoiled or water tap got spoiled, I would fix it before he arrived. My husband will come down and say, whose work is to fix the bulb? I said, I didn't know that we had work descriptions. So to be able to fit in at that time was not easy. We got to learn each other. We have to know each other. We have to be able to fit in with each other. But today, we are a better couple. But guess what? There was an attempt to break up at this takeoff flight. The plane almost crash landed. We almost want to let go of everything. But we have to come into agreement and take a decision. Decide to be able to study each other, understand each other, know what we need to let go, know what we need to carry along, and know what we need to fit in. As a single, don't think that your 1 year will be smooth. Not at all. It's not going to be that smooth. It's not going to be that smooth. So don't think it's going to be smooth. You have to learn each other. There will be turbulence, but please manage yourself at that moment. Fasten up your seatbelt. Know that the turbulence will soon be over. You will still have a smooth drive. You will still get into a place where the weather is fine and you can move around. At that moment, you will just be remembering. Do you know we fought? There was a time we fight because of meat. Do you know there was a time now? You are no longer fighting because of meat. You don't fight on how you sleep. You don't fight who is eating and who is not eating. There will always be a balancing. Remember that both of you come from different angles. You must experience this turbulence. And when you reach a place of no buying, understand that no buying is no buying. I pray that this message help you when you get into your marriage. Your turbulence may last 2 years. Other people last 5 years. Some may last even 6 months. But be sure, quickly make sure that you folded this whole thing off and you ended it on time so that you can move on. I pray that this message help you. As your role model, my duty is to tell you what I've seen in marriage. So I am peeping outside to the singles to tell you that when you come in, this is what you're going to see. And when you see it, this is how to handle it. Learn to be peaceful, study each other, and know that the flight will soon be balanced. So to every man, to every woman, know that your flight will soon be balanced when you get in there. It will not last forever. It's just a season of learning each other. I pray that the message make a difference in your life. And please always learn to end your turbulence on time so that you can move on to a smooth land. God bless you.